Hi, my name is Sadat Insan Sulaiman, and in this video, I will be discussing how you can protect yourself and your family from thunderstorm hazards. So before that, we should first understand what are thunderstorm hazards. So a hazard is a source or a situation with the potential for harm in terms of human injury or ill health. It can be the damage to properties, damage to the environment, or a combination of this. A hazard is an unwanted situation or condition where there is a loss of control of the hazard that leads to harm. So when we say hazard, it poses a great threat to your well-being as a human. It can also pose a great threat to your environment, surrounding, and possession. So a thunderstorm hazard is our potential or misfortunes that can happen to you which are caused by a thunderstorm. So when we say thunderstorm hazards, this can be lightning, it can be downburst and straight line winds, it can be hail, and it can be flash flood. But these are only few of thunderstorm hazards. Okay, so now I will be sharing with you what to do before a thunderstorm. So here are some listed examples that I found on the internet. So the first one is the key to staying safe is to prepare and to have an emergency plan in place. So of course, this not only applies to thunderstorm hazards, but in all situations, you should first have a backup plan or already have set up a plan on what to do on certain emergencies. Second is to listen to local news and weather reports for information on changing weather conditions. So before a thunderstorm, you should always listen to news, whether it's on TV or on the radio, so that we can be informed beforehand if a thunderstorm or any other kind of weather conditions will happen, so that in time we can be prepared. Number 3, find out if you live in an area where thunderstorms commonly occur. So you can search on the internet, ask your parents or ask your neighbors if the place that you're living in or your hometown is a place where thunderstorms will commonly occur, so that you can be informed on the situations that may happen to your place. So number 4, make a personalized preparedness emergency kit. Families should be prepared to be self-sustaining for at least 3 days. So when we say emergency kit, this can apply to 2 things. So the first one can be emergency kit or medicinal kit. This contains the necessary things to treat minor injuries in case of an emergency. So another one is the emergency funds or emergency bags. So this contains the food, the water, batteries, energy supplies that you will use. Because in an emergency, you will never know how long it will take for you to return back to your original state. You don't know when it will end, and you don't know how it will end. So it is best for you to collect as much food and water so that you can last for at least 3 days. And lastly, keep trees, shrubs trimmed to make them more wind resistant and remove any damaged branches. So if your house is surrounded by trees or shrubs, you can cut them beforehand so that you can lessen the possibility of the trees falling on your house or damaging your properties. So now I'll be sharing with you what to do during a thunderstorm. So you should remember the saying that when thunder roars, go indoors. So during a thunderstorm, immediately seek shelter or a safe place to wait out the storm. Watch for signs of a storm like darkening skies, lightning flashes, or increasing winds. So during a storm, if you're outside, you should immediately seek refuge. If you're not at home, you could go to malls, or you could go to either restaurants or any place that you could seek shelter in. Number 2, avoid sheltering under trees, posts, fences, equipment as they attract lightning. So these are the places that you should avoid sheltering in because they will attract more lightning. It's either because they are in an open field or they are made out of steel. Number 4, stay away from water. Water is an excellent conductor of electricity. So most of us already know this by now. So during a thunderstorm, do not go swimming, do not take a bath, or do not do any activities that involves the use of water. Electricity is very, very strong when it comes to water. Get out of open fields. If you are caught in an open field, do not lay flat on the ground. Seek shelter in a vehicle if at all possible. So if you are outside, please, please, please do not stay in open places such as fields because this will most likely attract lightnings. So close outside doors and windows and keep away from windows. So if you are inside during a thunderstorm, you should avoid standing near windows and doors because during a thunderstorm, the wind is really strong, so things will be flying everywhere. So by standing near a door or a window, you are risking the chance of getting hit by this. Stay inside for 30 minutes after the last thunder. So during a thunderstorm, when you hear the final thunder, do not go outside. There is a possible aftermath. And lastly, I will be now sharing with you what to do after a thunderstorm. So check the area around the person for any dangers such as live wires, broken glass, debris, and if there isn't any, check the person for burns or other injuries. So after a thunderstorm, you should first check your surroundings. If there are any loose wirings that can cause injury to you, such as getting you electrocuted, broken glass which you can step on, and debris that might cause you physical harm. And if there is none, you should then check your partners or other people around you if they suffer any injuries. If someone is struck by lightning, immediately call for medical assistance, and if trained in first aid, administer first aid treatment. So if you see a person who is struck by lightning, you should call 911 as soon as possible so that he or she could get immediate attention needed. But if you are a licensed professional or you are trained in first aid, you should administer the possible treatments for you to save the person. Stay away from falling power lines and report them immediately. So if you see posts or electrical posts that have loose wirings, you should call your near help center or 911 so that you can tell them to fix it, because this will cause extreme damage or electrocuting that may even kill people. Avoid flooded waterways and keep your eyes on your children and pets. They could be deeper than you think. So after a thunderstorm, the places around you will be surely flooded. But do not walk on them. They might be deeper or they can cause your children or pets to drown. So you should keep an eye on them. And lastly, listen to local news and weather reports. So after a thunderstorm, you should first check in a radio or the television in the news for updates whether or not the thunderstorm has really passed or there won't be a next one, so that you could prepare beforehand. Thank you.